It's local. It's live. It's always entertaining. It's Good Afternoon Orlando with Danielle Jensen, Phil Bird, and Frank Velez with sports. Good Afternoon Orlando.
Hello and welcome to Good Afternoon Orlando. I'm Phil Bird. Danielle Jensen will be joining us shortly. We start off tonight with some breaking news. A 12-block area in downtown Orlando has been blocked off because of a bomb scare. Good Afternoon Orlando's Danielle Jensen is on the scene with the latest.
I'm here live in downtown Orlando, where 12 blocks have been blocked off and evacuated. Police and firefighters are still unsure how long the roads will remain closed.
According to police, over 200 people have been evacuated.
We were evacuated earlier today, about an hour ago. We didn't know what was going on. We just had a fire drill. We thought it was a fire drill, and we just followed the instructions like they told us to.
Get out the building as quick as possible. Don't play games. Just get out as quick as possible and ask questions later.
Eyewitnesses were nervous when they were evacuated. But luckily, firefighters are trained for emergencies just like this one.
Officials are working as quickly as possible to secure the safety of the people in downtown Orlando.
We had to evacuate the surrounding areas and the bomb squad go in and investigate the package. They were evacuated for about 2 hours. They stayed across the street, safe distance away from the building. The bomb technician goes down range with certain pieces of equipment, and they determine whether the suspicious item is in fact dangerous or not.
Police do not know who sent the package, and they also do not know when the roads will be reopened. If you have any information on the package, please call Crime Line at 1-800-TIPS. I'm Danielle Jensen reporting live from Orlando, CSB 9 News.
Our other big story tonight, one that directly affects hundreds of local families. We're talking about street racing. We've all seen streetcars racing down city streets. It's illegal and dangerous, but often goes undetected. Muscle cars and high-performance vehicles are a growing part of the Orlando culture. But illegal street racing poses a huge safety threat. I went to some of the most popular spots where these often deadly races take place to take an in-depth look at the world of illegal street racing and the consequences behind it.
The 2001 movie The Fast and the Furious glorified high-speed street racing. But behind the Hollywood glamour, this thrill ride is turning into a fast and fatal sport. Street racing in Orlando has become a serious problem. The Florida Highway Patrol estimates there are hundreds of illegal street races in our city each year. Many of those lead to fatal crashes. So far this year, we've had almost a dozen.
Well, we know that we have suspected number of cases, probably at least a dozen here in Central Florida a year. We have had a couple fatalities of bystanders that were watching street races. We've had 2 bystanders that were killed as pedestrians.
Sergeant Kim Montez says that street racing isn't just on our city streets. There are some racing groups that do extreme racing where major highways are involved. These elaborate races include shutting down parts of a busy highway like I-4 by using rolling roadblocks.
We also have a problem with doing rolling roadblocks on the interstate out by Disney, where they will actually hold traffic back by kind of blocking them and take off and race on the interstate.
Adrienne Segi lost her son after he was struck and killed while watching a street race. The car was speeding close to 100 miles an hour down a neighborhood street and killed him instantly.
My son didn't have a chance, all because someone decided that it would be really a big rush to drive extremely fast down a street.
Crimes like these have forced legislators to crack down on street racing and beef up city laws to try and lower these fatal crashes. And as a result, new laws are on the books to try and curb the need for speed.
Their vehicles can be seized, they can be arrested, and then if someone is actually involved in a crash, they can be charged criminally. If there is a fatality in that crash, they can actually be charged with vehicular homicide along with reckless driving. The penalties do increase each time a person is convicted of participating in a street race.
But will these new laws bring street racing to a screeching halt? Guys like Vince, that isn't his real name, says the thrill of the chase is too much to pass up.
It's definitely addictive. It's crazily addictive, and when you first do it, I don't know, you just get hooked and you just want to go faster and be that person that beats you.
FHP tells us they are reaching out to targeted communities where street racing is a problem by educating people on how dangerous this sport is. There are monthly demonstrations that city leaders are organizing to drive home the point on how deadly street racing can be. Nick Washington joins me now in the studio. He's been street racing for 5 years. He loves the adrenaline rush and says he has no plans to stop. Nick, first of all, let me thank you for joining us and taking the time out to give us an insight of what goes on in a street racer's mind.
Thank you.
Got a couple questions for you, don't mind answering?
Yeah.
First of all, why do you think this sport is okay?
It's a big rush, man. It's very addicting. There's really not a whole lot that compares to this lifestyle. You know, you got fast cars, fast money, fast girls. It's the best, man.
Now, do you know about the current laws and what can happen to you if you do get caught?
Yeah, I know about them. I think that's a part of the game. You know, you have to know about it to survive.
Now, this game is all about souping up your car. What kind of car do you drive?
At the moment, I drive a Jetta 1.8 turbo. It's modified, so I can hit speeds anywhere from 160 to 170.
Now, at that kind of speed, where are you guys racing?
Anywhere it happens, really. Anywhere the money's right, anywhere the races are good. It could be anywhere from a local highway to anywhere down your street block, you know.
Now, why is it so important to be the fastest?
That's just really, it's about the rush, man, and the feeling, the street rep. You get in that car and you realize you're living life by the quarter mile, you know.
Now, being that fast, have you injured anybody, or do you know anybody who has been injured?
No, I haven't. I got skills, man, but I do know some people, some racers that I've raced with over the past few years that have been into some accidents. It happens, you know.
Now, I know you've seen all the Fast and Furious movies. Now, do you think those movies glamorize the sport and make it easier to access for people wanting to join?
Oh yeah, it's definitely glamorized. I don't know if it becomes easier. It's still dangerous, but perhaps it's the danger that really attracts people.
Now, how do you recruit people personally? How do you recruit someone who wants to become a street racer?
Well, if they got a good car, that's really all it takes.
Okay. Well, Nick, I appreciate it. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you.
When we come back, Danielle will join us with a look at what blockbusters Hollywood has planned for our summer. And here's a hint. There are plenty of superheroes. Stay with us.
Looking for a tea that's cool, refreshing, and organic? Then try Sweet Leaf Teas.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your sweet leaf. Shake your sweet leaf. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your sweet leaf. Shake your sweet leaf.
Sweet Leaf iced teas. They'll keep you shaken.
Welcome back. Now that the kids are out of school for the summer, Hollywood is banking on you and your kids to hit the local movie theater. Danielle Jensen is here now with a preview of some of the hottest flicks that are set to take your money this summer. Danielle, so what's on the list?
Well, Phil, the weather is getting hotter, and so are the movies from Hollywood. The studios are counting on at least 8 more blockbusters this season, and the first one on our list is going to be a hot one.
Yep, you guessed it, Man of Steel. Another man jumped into the blue tights this year to take on the role of Superman. But who would be brave enough to take on such an iconic role?
You have to understand he's physical, but he's not physical. He can fly, but he has to pretend like he can't. You know, he has, you know, you can, all the things he can do that he has to keep sort of inside, you know.
This movie is going to have the same plot that you've seen in a lot of other Superman movies. A young boy learns that he has extraordinary powers and that he isn't from Earth. As a young man, he journeys to discover where he came from and what he was sent here to do. But the hero in him must emerge if he is to save the world from annihilation, all the while by becoming the symbol of hope for mankind. This is a historic rendition on an American classic. Get this. It's the first time a British actor has played the role of Superman, and his name is Henry Cavill.
Yes, there is a certain amount of pressure, of course, but I'm not letting it get to me because there's nothing I can do about it now. I've done my job, everyone else is finishing up doing their jobs as well in the editing process, and now it's just keep my fingers crossed and hoping that everyone likes it.
With a top-notch cast, a fantastic director, and a well-known producer, it's no surprise that this movie is estimated to make the most money out of all other flicks this summer, at a whopping $153 million. But will this movie be a success or another disappointing superhero movie? We will find out when Superman flies into theaters on June 14th.
It's a superhero summer because Hugh Jackman just can't seem to get away from his role as Wolverine. The new Wolverine movie is going to be set in modern-day Japan, where Wolverine is out of his element in an unknown world as he faces the ultimate nemesis in a life-or-death battle that will leave him forever changed.
It's an honor to meet the Wolverine.
I can make you mortal.
Vulnerable for the first time and pushed to his physical and emotional limits, he confronts not only lethal Samurai Steel, but also his inner struggle against his own immortality, emerging more powerful than we have ever seen him before.
But from my perspective, the whole experience from the development through to shooting has felt really different. This whole movie feels fresh, and I know the fans and the audiences are going to be surprised by it, and I think they're going to really dig it.
The budget on this movie was an eye-opening $100 million, but the predictions say the movie will fall short and is estimated to bring in well under that. Some estimates put the final number around $80 million. It's the sequel to X-Men Origin. Wolverine will be in theaters on July 26th.
I'm here now with the Wolverine himself, Hugh Jackman. What is your favorite thing about playing the character of Wolverine?
He is, to me, the most badass comic book character out there. Way cooler than me, way tougher than me. So I kind of get to have great wish fulfillment playing him.
What role does Japan play in the new Wolverine movie?
Great question. Japan factors in a massive way. I don't know if you're a fan of the comic book saga, the samurai saga, but I know a lot of fans are. I was a big fan of it. The movie is set in Japan. We shot in Japan. It really feels different. The look of it is different. The atmosphere is very different from any other X-Men movie.
What was it like to work with the cast of Wolverine?
I think the thing I loved about this Wolverine, it was really brand new cast. Obviously, the movie takes place in Japan, and we have some incredible Japanese actors.
Among some of the other must-see movies this summer are Monsters University and White House Down. Both are set to be released in late June.
Thanks, Danielle. I can't wait to see some of those movies. When we come back, we'll be here with an update to the NBA Eastern Conference playoffs. Sports is up next.
Here at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, we learn by doing. Don't believe me? Follow me and see. We learn everything by doing here at CSB. Call 1-800-TV-RADIO.
Last night was Game 7 of the NBA Eastern Conference playoffs. And so far this year it's been full of thrills and spills. Frank Velez is here now with more on the NBA playoffs. Frank?
Thanks, Danielle. Heading up to Game 7, there are a lot of questions for the Miami Heat. For the example, will LeBron James get any help? Can Dwayne Wade provide that help? Wade is averaging 13.6 points per game. Before the game, Pacers head coach Frank Vogel had some words to his team about the Miami Heat showdown.
Fired up. It doesn't become a series for the ages unless the champs go down. Championship level togetherness. Okay? Punch our ticket to the NBA bus.
Off to the highlights we go. There's LeBron James averaging 34.3 points per game in career Game 7. First quarter action, Chris Bosh misses the three. Stevenson to David West, who dunks it, and it's the Pacers leading 12-6. Miami calls for timeout, looking to respond, and boy, did the Heat respond. Chalmers to the rack, no. But there's James. That was his first field goal of the game. LeBron took 17 shots, Wade took 16, and Bosh took 13. More in the first quarter, Paul George for 3. And he doesn't like that Mario Chalmers is flopping on the play. Hibbert with the turnover away for the steal, followed with a Euro double-step dunk. He ties the game in 19. Final seconds of the first quarter, LeBron goes hard to the basket, but Roy Hibbert says, hello! Chris Anderson missing the putback. If you see the replay, Anderson misses for the first time in this series after hitting 18 straight. We take it to the second quarter. Mike Miller misses the three, but there's Birdman with the dunk. He had 7 points and 5 rebounds. Next play in transition, Bosh, Cole, to James with elevation. I can't believe he can fly. Chris Bosh for 3, and he celebrates as Miami goes up by 10. Ray Allen from downtown, he had 10 points. Final seconds of the first half, Way goes inside with the floater as Miami was up 52-37. Heading up to the second half action, more of the same for Miami. LeBron hits the 3, he had 32 points. Dwayne Wade had 21 points and 6 offensive rebounds, including that one. The Pacers tried, but too many turnovers in this game, and the Heat beat the Pacers 99-76, and they are moving into the NBA Finals.
Some question during the series about the support system here. Chris struggling, Dwayne struggling, Ray couldn't hit a shot. What does it feel like to get Dwayne back to being Dwayne, Chris hitting the boards, Ray making 3 3-pointers? How much easier does it make it on you? How much better does it make the team?
I mean, obviously, we're a much better team when we have everyone clicking at the same time. That's obvious. And we've had more games where everyone is clicking than not so. It just happened in this series. Guys were just not in the rhythm, not feeling like themselves. And, but hey, you save it to the last game, and it allows us to advance, then I'm okay with that.
I know you read a game. Early in this game, it did seem like you were kind of allowing your teammates to get into it a little bit until you started to see some openings. Go through your strategy a little bit about what you were trying to do there.
Yeah, absolutely. The first play of the game, I called a play for D. Wade. Even though he didn't shoot the ball, he got a good touch in the paint. And, just to make him feel, like he was a part of the offense, make him feel in a good rhythm. I called a couple sets for him early in the game, and just to get a feel for it. And it showed, throughout the whole game that he was in the rhythm. He started to make layups. He started to attack. He started to make his free throws. So it was big time.
There are lots to talk about what happened during tonight's game. Joining me now is ESPN NBA analyst Antonio Davis with more on critical Game 7. And Antonio, Dwayne Wade had been struggling in this series, averaging 13.6 points per game. However, in Game 7, he scored 21 points. What changed?
Well, frankly, what happened to him was Miami. The city got to him. Paul George doesn't have that much experience in an NBA conference final, and that showed through.
Miami will face the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA Finals. What do you think about this series?
Well, this is going to be a great series because you have fundamentals versus flash. Who knows who's going to win? I say this is going to be a Game 7, and I see the Spurs taking the victory.
You're the expert. That's why you're here. Antonio Davis, thank you very much. We'll have highlights from college hoops coming up at 11 o'clock. Just ahead of Good Afternoon Orlando. He's kind of slippery and not cuddly, but he sure is cute. We'll meet the newest member of the Central Florida Zoo. Don't go away.
Reimagined. Re-inspired. Reinvigorated. All designed to reignite the soul. CTS, the Cadillac of sports sedans.
Welcome back. We've looked at one way to entertain the kids this long summer season with Hollywood blockbusters.
But if you're more into nature, then we have something for you too. A quick trip to the Central Florida Zoo in Sanford promises to provide hours of river otter fun and entertainment.
We are here opening up our brand new North American River Otter exhibit. Planning for this has probably been about a year and a half, and construction probably took us about 9-10 months. We will have two. We have Buster, our male river otter, and we have a female that's in the back area. All animals have to go through a little quarantine period before they can be introduced to each other. Otters don't require a whole lot of special care. They are carnivores, so they eat a meat-based diet. But we do have to make sure that their water quality in the exhibit is in good condition, not only for the health of the animal, but just for visibility for the public as well. Well, otters are just adorable looking, and they are very playful. They're a very attractive animal, and they play a lot out in the wild, and in captivity you'll see them doing the same thing, swimming around, really enjoying his habitat, exploring every nook and cranny. Many people can see them throughout the Central Florida area, just in their streams, lakes, and rivers. And if you see that, you should be very happy because they are an indicator of a healthy ecosystem.
Well, that sure looks like fun. And that's it for us today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Phil Bird.
And I'm Danielle Jensen. We do hope we'll see you next time on Good Afternoon Orlando. We'll have a heartwarming story of a local man who's gone above and beyond to help welcome our troops back home.
Have a good afternoon,
Orlando.